right, everybody. Good evening. So glad you can be with us on this Tuesday, October the 15th. I'm Shon Gables inside the Atlanta News First Plus studio. We are in the heart of Atlanta, and this is where I give you a behind-the-scenes look at all the big stories that we're following today. And boy, is it a big news day. And also, our First Alert meteorologist, Fred Campagna, he is going to join us here momentarily. This is a First Alert weather day, and if you've been outside, you know why. A little chilly out there, but let's get to these headlines that we're following right now. Some big stories that are making not only local news here in Atlanta, but also international headlines. And a lot of it has to do with early voting. Started here in Georgia today. Other states will follow suit, but has been a record-breaking day in Georgia. Georgia shattered records for early voting turnout. Polls opened in Georgia this morning. We blew past 250,000 votes cast in person. And folks, this is only day one. This is a battleground state, and it is showing to be one with heavy interest this election season, just weeks away from the November election. Now, Gabriel Sterling with Georgia's Secretary of State office posted on social media, hats off. He was very happy with the turnout. And the other story that we're following, and let me get you to that right there. This is a look at in Cobb County, where former President Donald Trump is expected to hold a rally here today. That's going to get started here shortly. We're just waiting for. It looks like it's quiet, but the way the camera is positioned, it is a lot of people. It is a packed house at the Performing Arts Center in the Cobb Energy Performing Arts Center. But people are flooding as they flood to the polls. The campaign trail on fire. Former President Donald Trump, and I'm going to go back to that voting video that we were showing here earlier. A lot of folks are headed out to see him rally this morning. The former president will speak to a packed capacity crowd at the Cobb Energy Performing Arts Center. And again, I'm going to show you the podium where he will be taking stage here shortly. We are going to be streaming that live on Atlanta News First Plus. You can get it on all of our streaming platforms on the Atlanta News First Plus app if you're watching us right now, but also on YouTube TV. The Democratic presidential candidate Kamala Harris, she too returning back to Georgia on Saturday for an Atlanta campaign stop. And our Madeline Montgomery, she's on a different election angle story tonight. On Atlanta News First at 11 and Peachtree TV at 10, Madeline is getting an exclusive look at brand new safety devices that Cobb County poll workers are using to keep themselves safe. This story is one you do not want to miss. There are concerns. We've seen people get a little spicy. There's a lot of rules when you're waiting these long lines, and poll workers are making sure they're safe this year. Again, this is the heavy turnout that came out this morning as we broke records for early voting. But poll workers are using a device to keep themselves safe in Cobb County. Madeline Montgomery is going to have that story tonight on Atlanta News First at 11. But let's go back to Atlanta News First political reporter Doug Reardon. He is in Cobb County at Trump's rally as the program has started to get underway, but Trump hasn't taken the podium. But here's the latest.
I'm political reporter Doug Reardon from the Cobb Energy Performing Arts Center, where Donald Trump is set to speak in just a few minutes. This is one of the smallest venues that the president has ever held a rally at here in the Georgia area. He's coming to the crucial state with just 21 days to go until the election, and on the first day, Georgians can cast a vote early. Cobb County is very important, and it's very interesting, too. It's a populous area. There are a lot of votes up for grabs here, and it used to be a GOP stronghold that is trending bluer in recent election cycles. It actually helped President Joe Biden capture the White House back in 2020. If you needed any indication as to how important Donald Trump felt Cobb County was this close to the election, just go back a couple of weeks ago when his running mate, Ohio Senator J.D. Vance, the GOP nominee for vice president, held his own rally at this very same venue.
And that was Doug Reardon reporting. And just a reminder, we are 21 days away from the November 5th election. Remember, Atlanta News First is your #1 source for all things election related. And here are some key dates that I want you to remember as we quickly approach Election Day. October 25th is the absentee ballot deadline, and Election Day, as I just mentioned, it is November 5th. There was another big, huge story that broke in Atlanta today, got international headlines. And if you are a football fan, you know what I'm talking about. The Super Bowl making a return to Atlanta. The NFL announced today our city is to host Super Bowl 62 at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in 2028. This, by the way, is going to be the fourth time the NFL championship game has been played in Atlanta, and the second time inside the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, which is now becoming, let's face it, a global sports destination. Atlanta will host NFL Honors, the Super Bowl Experience, and Super Bowl opening night, as well as hosting the College Football National Championship and Major League Baseball's All-Star Game next year, plus FIFA World Cup. Going to be here in 2026. Atlanta News First, Patrick Quinn has more.
We want to officially say congratulations to the Atlanta Falcons and the Atlanta community for hosting Super Bowl 62.
The Super Bowl is coming back to Atlanta and coming back to Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Atlanta first hosted the Super Bowl in 1994, then again in 2000 and in 2019. This will be the fourth Super Bowl in Atlanta for NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell. Why Atlanta? Because Atlanta delivers.
The city that can make things happen.
Just ask the fans, even non-Falcons fans. We went back in the archives. Here's a Patriots fan in 2019.
How did our city do in hosting the Super Bowl?
Atlanta did awesome. We came off the plane. Everybody was so warm and welcoming. I felt like a celebrity. I was like, woo!
Atlanta is solidifying itself as a sports capital of the country. Now hosting the College Football National Championship game in January, the MLB All-Star Game next year, the FIFA World Cup games in 2026, and now the Super Bowl. I pulled aside Atlanta Sports Council President Dan Corso, who leads the bidding process to bring major sports events to the city. What's next for you?
Geez, what else is out there? What would you like?
Corso said he's eyeing Women's World Cup games. He said leagues know Atlanta knows how to put on big events. He also knows downtown Atlanta will look a lot different in 2028 than it did in 2019 with the expansion of Centennial Yards and South Downtown development. Mayor Andre Dickens said the city and its infrastructure will have to rise to the occasion.
We're challenging all our partners, whether that's MARTA or anybody else, to continue to step their game up because visitors and businesses and residents all depend on them.
And could the Falcons play in Super Bowl 2028? I asked Falcons owner Arthur Blank.
So I expect it to play in that Super Bowl and hopefully at least one before.
That was Patrick Quinn reporting. Our Bridget Spencer is going to have more on that story tonight on Atlanta News First at 11 and on Peachtree TV at 10. Make sure you join myself and First Alert meteorologist Fred Campagna tonight. Our buddy Blair Miller, he's getting a little respite. If you watch the Atlanta Pride Parade, you know our buddy had a tough time talking, so he is resting his voice. He'll be back with us tomorrow. But if you've been outside, and I'm going to show this beautiful shot out here, Fred, you told us, I mean, I don't even know why I question you, because the accuracy, it's giving. It is, you told us it was going to be a First Alert weather day. You said it was going to be a big dip in the weather. It was. It's cold out there. It's a little too cold for me.
Yeah, Sean, it's one of those nights you just step outside and you know instantaneously, okay, this is the real deal out there tonight. So we're definitely feeling that. Hopefully you're able to stay warm over the next couple of days. Anyone who's, you know, not used to this, it's a little bit of a shock to the system for us out there right now. Let me see if I can switch this around. Say what's up to everybody. Hope you had a good Tuesday. It was nice out there this afternoon, a little breezy, but as soon as that sun got lower in the sky, man, you could really feel that temperature starting to fall, and it has continued to fall as we've gone through the last couple of hours. The wind is still somewhat active for us. There's a comet that's visible in the sky close to the horizon just after sunset on the western horizon. I went outside to take a look at it. At our studio, we don't have a great view of the western horizon because it's so hilly around here. And we're in West Midtown, so we have some buildings as well that obscure that view. But if you can get a good look at the western horizon in the next couple of nights, you might be able to see that comet that's in the air, in the sky, just after sunset. So kind of around dusk, maybe before it's completely dark, but not when it's completely light either. right? That makes sense. Let's check out those wind speeds out there right now. 5 to 10 miles per hour. Temperatures are tumbling down into the 40s already in LJ, 51 for Canton, 57 at this point for Atlanta. And it's colder at this time than it was last night by some 7 degrees in Atlanta. So we are heading for the coldest night of the season. In fact, there's a frost advisory in effect after midnight until 11 o'clock Wednesday morning. Northeast Georgia. It now includes, looks like White County is in there as well. So Helen, you're now in that frost advisory. Rabun, Habersham counties are in there. And you can see some of those low temperatures in the mid 30s. The highest peaks could be right around freezing early tomorrow. But most of the towns up in the North Georgia mountains will be somewhere around 34 to 38 or so for your low temperature. That is cold enough, if the wind dies down, for some frost to develop. Check out the temperatures in the Atlanta metro area tonight. 43 degrees in Atlanta, Covington 43, 40 for Carrollton, Griffin around 42. Tomorrow, lots of sunshine, but it will be a cool day. The temperature is going to struggle to get above the lower 60s. In fact, forecasting a high tomorrow of 60 in Douglasville, East Point 62. So we're almost 15 degrees below normal on your Wednesday afternoon with that blue sky. And still a little bit of a breeze out there on Wednesday. 61 for Sandy Springs. Heading east into Gwinnett County, northeast, 61 for Beaufort, 62 for Lawrenceville, and Stone Mountain around 62 degrees. In the mountains tomorrow, you might struggle to get above 60 degrees. Mid-50s for LJ, 58 for Helen, and Canton, northern suburbs, about 59. It's going to be even colder tomorrow night. Low temperatures Thursday morning. Generally between about 30 and 40. The coldest spots could get below freezing. I don't expect to see that much around the metro, but some frost can't be ruled out. West Georgia, northern suburbs, even south and east of Atlanta. So we'll see if there's a frost advisory that's popped for Wednesday night and into Thursday morning. Thursday afternoon, notice how we're just a touch milder, and that's a nice little trend that we'll see going into the weekend. What a quiet stretch of weather for us. Another chilly morning on Friday, and there are actually more cool mornings as we go into the weekend. Saturday, 46, Sunday, about 48 degrees. But we're going to have all of this with dry weather and mainly clear skies. And the clear skies, actually, the reason why we're going to have those chilly overnights, or one of the reasons. When the sky is clear and the air is dry, and the temperature of the wind falls off in the evening and overnight like it will, not so much tonight, but more so tomorrow night and the night after and into the weekend, that is a good recipe for that temperature to dive at night. So look for that to happen. Sunday looking great, a moderating trend temperature-wise, rain forecast, none coming our way. We may go close to a month between steady rain events in North Georgia. Helene was, I think, 18 days ago, 19 days ago. Tomorrow, maybe even 20. And at least the start of that rain for Helene started on the Wednesday. And it looks like we have no rain coming our way through the weekend, possibly through most or all of next week. The outlook for October 21st to 25th. So 10 days from now, we could still be looking at mainly or all dry weather. There's a 7-day forecast. You see all that sunshine we get to enjoy. And you'll also notice the temperature trend going from the lowest high tomorrow, 62 degrees, to the highest high by next Tuesday, which will be 78. How's the weekend shaping up? Outstanding. 71 Saturday, mid-70s on Sunday and Monday. Still some cool weather at night, but moderating somewhat into the lower 50s by the early to middle part of next week. So we'll see you again tonight on Atlanta News First on Peachtree TV at 10 to 11 o'clock, and then on the Mothership at 11. Have a great evening.